Trying.
Now get ready for Watching Wyrd, your ultimate destination for mind-bending movie reviews and recommendations. From hidden gems to cult classics, we explore it all. Hosted by storytellers and cinephiles Alan Gamboa, Scott Baker, Rich Restucci, and Hadley Thorne, with a special shout-out to Landis Aldana and Alan Lasseter for their incredible support that help us keep the lights on at Wyrd. Now grab your Coke, popcorn, and tinfoil hat, and let's get weird.
Hi.
Let's get weird.
Sorry. Just had to run over there for a second, but I'm back.
Do you realize today is the 80th anniversary of VE Day?
No, I didn't.
Yes, the World
really?
War II ended in Europe today.
Nice.
80 years
Wow,
ago.
well,
Wow.
cheers to the greatest generation.
Yes.
Right. You know what I should do? If I just had some kind of mug to do your cheers with you, then I would. It would be like really cool.
I will use my sexy
Get this crazy mug.
my sexy Disney character with a chainsaw.
Where'd you get that one at, Scott?
I got it at one of the conventions. It was just so bizarre. It's got Leatherface. It's got Leatherface all over it. And then at the front, they've got that one Disney character.
I am a shit show supervisor.
Yeah.
Problem-solving expert who fixes issues that no one else can figure out. Well, that's true. A person whose job is to organize the chaos that is created on a daily basis. My friend Alan gave me this. It's very nice. Just like my heart.
Wow.
Black. But wait, there's more.
There's more. Well, while Rich is opening that, Scott, how was your convention last weekend?
It was a lot better than the other two, but I still didn't do as well at that convention as I usually do. Just people are terrified of the economy. Nobody's spending money. All the vendors were saying things were tough for them. So,
Wow, that sucks. At least
I got away from the family for a while. I had a weekend where I could go to bed at night and not be woken up at 3 a.m. by pets.
That's awesome.
Excuse me.
Go lay down.
So our mugs.
I wish-
Thank you, Alan. Now I have.
no problem.
That was very kind.
There's one en route. You have one more en route.
I do?
I couldn't get Scott 3 and you not 3. So there's one more en route. So
Well,
Yeah, mine were in separate containers that were then all wrapped together.
Oh, mine were.
Oh,
in separate
really?
containers that were
Yeah.
wrapped together.
yeah. That's
Those are
crazy.
awesome, man.
Well, I welcome to Thursday's show, everybody. Dungeon Dan is here tonight, and
Yes,
he's glad to
I'm
see
alive,
that you are
man.
alive.
I'm
He didn't care if Rich and I are alive, Scott. He just glad you're alive.
It was funny. I just want to say the week before school ended for spring break, I took the kids to the park, and one kid, sweetest, nicest kid, warped sense of humor. He comes up to me with a branch and he goes, "This is for you, Mr. Baker. It's dead, like your soul."
Hey, kids know you too well, right?
They know me too well because I always say, "How do you like your coffee?" And I tell them, "Cold and black, like my soul."
Hey, we have Tina. Hello, Tina.
Tina,
Hello,
how
like Tina does. I hope who's she talking to?
I hope
Anyone
she's
wants-
talking to you.
well, clearly she's talking about Kong, right? King of the studs, King Kong.
Thank you, Dan.
Hey,
Max.
Max, how you doing?
Filling up.
Well, we got some good movies tonight.
Yes.
A lot of fun. We have Pacific Rim, which Scott will be doing.
Mhm.
We have Skull Island, which Rich will be doing, and Land That Time Forgot that I'll be doing. So I think we're probably going to be real close on these movies together
I
tonight.
think so.
You know, maybe Eskimo Brothers on these movies tonight.
Oh, have you guys been watching season 2 of The Last of Us?
Yes, I have.
No.
I won't say anything. Just I watched episode 2 during dinner tonight. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The attack on the village.
Yeah.
It,
Awesome.
I think season 2 so far is better than season 1.
Really?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
That we finally got some zombies,
Yes.
and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Watch season 2. One of the kids at the school told me, "Oh, you got to watch it. Episode 2 will blow you away." And it's like that attack on the village is like, oh.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't seen it yet.
the one
I haven't
you
seen
remember.
this season yet, and some of my other friends are really hating on it.
Really?
Really hating on it.
Are they
Yeah.
hating on it because of her?
Well, because of the
I think she's great. I think she's doing a fantastic job.
yeah.
She is
Well, they
rocking.
hate on her. They hate on her. They hate that she doesn't like boys.
No, Fred, don't lay down.
They're just really tearing it apart. I haven't seen it. I liked last season. I thought last season was great.
Fred,
I just haven't gone into this one yet.
go lay down.
What I want out of my zombie show is zombies. And
Yeah.
last season, it wasn't really a zombie show. It was kind of a drama with zombies in it. But I was talking to my kids and who have played the game, and one of them watched someone else play the whole playthrough, and she said
I landed.
that it's really close to the video game. Like, again, I haven't played it, but she said spot on, and she said it's not a zombie video game. It's a game. It's like that. It's like the show, and I guess a lot of the dialogue is word for word.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. The kids at my school who played the game loved it. The kids who didn't play the game, like you and me, were like, "Gee, it's kind of boring." So
Yeah, it's not. If you take it for what it is, it's a really well acted and done,
yes.
and the cinematography is great with the background that has fallen apart.
Yeah.
The post-apocalyptic shit. But again, people shit on Bella Ramsey because they say she looks nothing like Ellie, but that's not what it's about. It's about her.
She does such a great job of doing the character.
I think she does really well.
Yeah, I mean, I wanna slap her so many times, and it's like that means she's doing a good job.
I know that in the episode you're talking about, towards the very end, she was great. She was absolutely
yes.
But
Yeah,
anyway.
I've got to watch it. I'm not gonna let that deter me from watching it.
No, you've got it. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, like I said, I like the first season.
Yeah.
So I can't see it deviating too far from that. Hey, Landa, Max, I do have other friends somewhere. I don't know where.
I want.
Shall we get started, guys?
Dungeon, I want to hear more about the G movie, the new one coming out. Post a comment, please. All right, let us start. Who first?
Doesn't matter to me.
All right.
You want to start with your oldest movie first, or?
Oh, all right, sure.
Start with the. Okay. Land of Time Forgot, 1974. I love this movie. I was a young teen when it came out. Me and my buddies went to see it at the movies, and we just wow. I think this is the first big movie that had mechanical dinosaurs in it instead of the dinosaurs with the fins glued on them and the iguanodons and all that. I believe. Hey, there's the boss. Hey, boss. Everyone, see, Heather's here tonight. Yay!
Hey, hi, boss.
This movie's great. AI friends. Yes, Landa, they're AI friends. This movie stars Doug McClure as American submarine. He comes from American submarine family that they build these big submarines and stuff. Tyler Bowen. What more macho name can you get than Tyler Bowen from the Bowens that make submarines? He happens to be, this is during World War I. He happens to be on a British freighter that gets sunk by a German U-boat. And him and English actress Suzanne Penalligan, who plays Lisa Clayton, are among the survivors of this ship that gets sunk. And they're able to commandeer the U-boat, which is commanded by John McHenry, who does a great job as Captain Von I can't pronounce his name. Tyler Bowen couldn't even pronounce his name either. They take over this U-boat, and they're able to. I always want to call it Pangea, but it's the hell is it called? Canberra, Campa, something like that. Campos, something. Anyway, you think it's Pangea. Might as well be Pangea. This is Edgar Rice Burroughs' story. They end up in a lost world. It was a land before time where there's dinosaurs, there's cavemen, there's evolving cavemen. There's a fight among the British seamen. I got to say seamen on the show twice. And the U-boat crew. This is just a lot of fun. The only thing that chaps my hide about this movie is the dinosaurs. You got to stand there and let them eat you. You can move out of the way and they won't eat you because they move so slow. It's like, and you got to stand there and they just. That's my only gripe. I love this movie. It's got everything a kid back in the 70s wanted in a movie. This is something when you're taking a bath as a kid and you have your toy soldiers and your boats and your dinosaurs and all that. Yeah, I was probably 18 when I was doing that. This was everything you played as a kid, I think. And Doug McClure, not the best actor in the world, but a great leading man for these movies. There was a sequel to this movie called The People That Time Forgot, with John Wayne's son played the main guy. It should have been Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Same movie. Another guy comes in there. He's most of the movie, and then he finds Charlton Heston, which is Doug McClure in this sequel, and stuff happens. This is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's a low budget movie, and you can tell, but they make the most of it. And there's mechanical dinosaurs and pterodactyls that they don't move, but they do this.
They glide. The air currents, bro. Air currents.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Like this is from pretty close to source material, I think. I'm not sure. I've never read this one of his books. It's a lot of fun. There's been a lot of sequels to this, and none of them I think are as good as this one. Because I mean, this one just has that feeling to it, that je ne sais quoi. I don't know. It just has that. I don't know. I mean, the U-boat. It's the submarine they use is a World War II submarine. The outside of it and everything, but I don't know. It just feels authentic. This movie feels authentic for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I love this movie. It's a little slow, and it's not really bloody at all. Guys get stabbed in the back with caveman axes, and it's not bloody. In fact, the cavemen like to hit you in the back in this one. I'm gonna rate this one high. What do you guys say about this, Blake?
Go ahead, Scott.
All right. I agree with you. When I first saw it, it was great. It was like the first really, for its time, it was a really well done, high tech dinosaur movie. The plot was pretty good. It does not stand up to the test of time today. If I watched it for the first time, I would probably snark on this movie. But like you said, it was nostalgia. I remember going with my friends, and we'd sit in the park theater and watch it. And the when it was like trying to eat Doug McClure on top of the submarine. You're like, wow, what good effects. Now it's just like Sci-Fi Channel does it better. But It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it again. But I'm never going to hate on it.
Is that it?
Yep.
All right. Well, before I start, let's say hi to Doc, freshly back.
Hey, Doc.
Doc. It's good to have you back.
Is she back from down under?
The Land That Time Forgot. This is a film that I learned about through my dad. My dad's like, all right, it's time you watch this, because in 1974 I was 6 years old, so I was a little younger than you ancient sons of bitches. So I would watch this with my dad probably once a year.
Yeah.
And I loved it. As a kid, this was like the pinnacle of creature stuff. They were, eating people, but there was no blood. And I was a little kid watching this with my dad. I was, 8, 10 years old. Loved Doug McClure in this movie. Thought he was great back then. You know, he's Doug McClure. The German officer, whose name I can't remember, did great in this flick. He was fantastic. And the guy that played that just he knocked it out of the park. The whole dynamic of, you know, like expeditionary evolution was kind of weird. I didn't really know why that was important. But one of the things that really bothered me about this was back when they didn't really understand the differences and the dynamics between certain dinosaurs. It wasn't as far back as, you know, having a brontosaurus attack people, but they blew up the damn Styracosauruses. Why would you do that? Why would you blow up those? They're not hurting anybody. They're just sitting there. They're doing Styracosaurus stuff. I mean, and that bugged me back when I was a kid. This movie does hold up. It was a little, like you said, Alan, it was a little bit slow, but it's a movie that I will probably watch again just for nostalgia purposes and the fact that I loved the rubber dinosaurs. I thought they were fantastic. The wire gliding pterodactyls and the critters in the sea with the big rubber mouth. It was great. It's fantastic.
I love that scene where when they first surface, right? And the guy goes, "That's a giant crocodile. That's a big ass crocodile." And there's a guy standing right by it, and he eats the other guy. You know, while the guy's saying, "There's a big ass crocodile right there." Well, do something, man. Grab your friend, move him. You know, just don't say.
They didn't like him.
Big ass crocodile right there.
That guy was the guy that took everybody's sandwich out of the fridge on the sub. So they're like, "Let the son of a bitch get eaten." That's what it was. Don't take any other people's sandwiches. Don't be a prick.
Don't eat other people's subs on a sub.
Excellent.
Just saying.
Perfect.
Hey, Alan. Alan Lassiter's here tonight.
Lassiter.
So, what are you guys going to give this one?
I'll go. I will give this one a 4.5, just because I absolutely love what it represents, and it brings me back when I watch it. Scott?
I would give it as a movie 3.5, but like you guys, because it's just got that, nostalgia feeling about it. I'll give it a 4.25. Wow. It's definitely worth watching at least once.
You know, I will give this movie a 4.5. I'll go along with Rich on this. Just the nostalgia, and it's got something you can't replicate. They've tried it with all the other, remakes of this movie, and they just don't hit it. I mean, some might be easier to watch, but they just don't hit it. You just don't get that feeling of a U-boat, British seamen and Doug McClure, finding the land that time forgot. You can still, now you get Thomas C. Howell or C. Thomas Howell and, some sci-fi acting crew. You might get better dinosaurs, but you don't just get the better feel of the movie, So I guess we should move on. Which one of you gentlemen would like to go next?
Doesn't matter to me.
Which is next in line? When was
Tom was 2017.
Then it's me.
Okay.
Pacific Rim 2013. I am sure almost every one of you has seen this movie. It's giant kaiju start rising from the ocean floor, and they start attacking coastal cities along the Pacific Rim. And it becomes an increasing event. Like, I think it happened once, then a year later. Then over time, more kaiju started coming out, and bigger kaiju, going from the small ones, level 1, all the way up to like level 4. And the movie centers around the whole world unites together, and they set up this UN representation. And the first way they decide to fight it is with giant robots. And the robots, two people, they do a very brief history, a narrative history, which I loved because it told the story in only like a minute or two. But you need two people in the robots, They meld. They have this ability, their minds to come together. So like one fights with the left side, one fights with the right, and they're taking on the kaiju. But as the kaiju get bigger, the UN decides, nope, we're not going to go with these robots. They're too big. They're too expensive. We're smart. We're going to build walls all around the cities that they can't get through. That doesn't prove to be effective. And the kaiju program, not the kaiju, the robot program is going to be shut down until they realize that, I guess I can give this away. They find out that these kaiju are from another dimension and that they are being sent to Earth to weed out the population so that the aliens can then come in and once we're all eliminated, just clean up the bodies and take over the planet and mine it for itself. And there's only one way to stop it. And the only way to stop it is using the robots. I absolutely adore this movie. I love it. Very few movies I can watch repeatedly and not get bored. I can like sit there and watch it. And every time, rather than like, there's a mistake, it's like, oh, God, I never saw that before. Special effects. Well, it was directed by Guillermo del Toro, written by him and another writer, Travis. What's his name? Travis Beecham, who also wrote Pacific Rim Uprising, which wasn't that good, but he did The Clash of the Titans, the 2010 version, and the special effects, the AI in this is phenomenal. It is almost spotless. There's tons of action in this movie. I love that by this time in the timeline, there's only a handful of robots left. And I love the Russian robot. It looks so old, so Soviet, and then the Chinese, every robot just has that feel for the country it came from. And what I loved about this is the acting. I mean, the actors in this were Idris Elba as Stacker Pentecost. He's the one in charge of the whole UN program. I think he had one of the most brilliant performances of his career in here. He was, you hated him and respected him at the same time. He was so good as the commander, putting people in their place, giving the leeway when needed. The two scientists, Charlie Day and Bern Gorman, I love them. They were absolutely fantastic together. It was like watching Abbott and Costello in a kaiju movie. And Ron Perlman is Hannibal Chow. I mean, he's great in everything he does, but he was just so perfect in this movie. I loved it, especially what happens to him partly through the movie. But if you watch this movie, watch it through to the very end, because it's one of those movies, they have something at the end. I mean, this movie to me is perfect. It's one of the few movies, like I said, I can watch it over and over. The action is great. The character development is great. The plot is good. Special effects are phenomenal. The sad thing was it cost $190 million to make. And on the opening weekend in the States, it only brought in $101 million. Opening weekend it brought in only $37,000 in U.S. and Canada. Gross in the U.S. It never made budget, but it took off worldwide. It made $411 million worldwide, and it became one of those cult classics. People people ripped on it, people hated it, and then somebody goes to see it and goes, "Whoa, you got to go see it." And they tell their friends, and then they see it, just like Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
So, what did you gentlemen think?
Rich?
It really bothers me that people crapped on this movie. They can all consume a rather large satchel of phalluses. F right off. This is a great flick.
Yeah.
It really is. The special effects in this movie are just, it's like nothing you've seen. The size of the mechs and the kaijus is really well represented, especially when one of the mechs, Gypsy Danger, picks up a friggin' container ship and starts smacking the crap out of a container ship. He said smacking the crap out of one of these kaijus with a container ship. The plot's great, the acting's great, cinematography is beyond ridiculous. Special effects, second to none. You know, everything's fantastic. Those mechs walking through the water and the water's all splashing, and it was great. It was really fantastic. And Scott, those two dudes that you mentioned, the comic relief there, they're actually in the second movie too.
I stopped watching the second movie, but now I gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like you said, it's not nearly as good as the first one, but it's not terrible. Yeah. It's not bad. But honestly, I really like Charlie Hunnam, the main character. He's such a good actor. I think he's British. It was to the point where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about Charlie Hunnam, and then I watched The Gentleman because he was in The Gentleman, completely different.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
I actually say that, Rich, watched that film night before last after watching Pacific Rim. I'm like, what else was he in besides? I was like, oh, he's King Arthur. I was like, yeah, that was all right. I was like, oh, he was in The Gentleman. So I was flipping through it. I saw it on my Vudu. I was like, I gotta watch it. So yeah, Pacific Rim is just, it's so really well done. I just can't fathom how it didn't do well on its opening weekend, because that's the trailers for it when they were playing at the time. I was like, I got to see this. So my dad and we went to go see this when it first came out, and it was I loved it. I was like, wow, this is gonna kill it, and it didn't. It kind of sucked when it was not the movie, but the box office. It just, nobody went to see it, and I was shocked. So they all suck.
But a lot of the movies that suck among the critics, like this, The Thing, are now, they're some of the most popular movies today. So maybe we should listen to critics.
You doing, Rich? You got more?
No, I'm good. You go for it, buddy.
The soundtrack in this movie is phenomenal. It is just phenomenal. I mean, the size of the Jaegers and the Kaiju, in the music too, and the heroic parts, it's just the music. I love the soundtrack to this movie. I think it really helps it along. I was like you, Rich. Charlie Hunnam, he killed it in The Gentleman. His character in The Gentleman was just outstanding. He was great in this. Also, you had, you're talking about Idris Elba, but you had Max. This dude, this is his real name, Max Martini.
Yeah.
He always plays a commando mercenary. He was in that 48 Hours in Benghazi or whatever. I mean, this dude's great. And he played as the Australian, Jaeger pilot.
Yeah.
He was great. Same with this dude Robert Kaczynski. He was great too. In fact, he had a short-lived series on Fox where they brought him back from the dead or something. He was like a cop or something. It was good. But Fox, they kill sci-fi movies all the time. And then you had Diego Klatnoff as Charlie Hunnam, and Diego Klatnoff, if you watch The Blacklist, he's on till the very end of The Blacklist. It's that FBI agent. But this is just a fun movie. It's one of those movies like when you're a kid, like Land That Time Forgot, you were playing this crap. You had your Godzilla toy or whatever, and a Major Matt Mason doll or something, and you're like, I love this movie. It's a lot of fun. The sequel, not as good. Not as good. It's like a Transformer movie, actually. It reminded me of one of the Mark Wahlberg Transformer movies. It's not a horrible watch at all. Not at all. But it's just not the same as this movie. Because you didn't know what to expect when you walk into the theater and you're sitting there. Tina and I are sitting there watching it, and bam. That scene where, Charlie Hunnam's, his brother just got killed and his Jaeger's just falling apart on the beach there. I mean, that's an awesome scene. Yeah. I love this movie. So what shall we rate this, guys?
5.
Wow. What about you, big guy?
What are you giving it?
You
Rich?
gave it a 5.
Whoa, man, you haven't given a movie a 5 in
A
What about you?
long time, I know.
What about you, Al?
I'll give it a 5 because this is what you want in this kind of movie. You know, this is what you want. And look at Tony. He gave it. He was fully erect for this movie. So
5 full
Max
call.
gives it.
Wow.
Max gives it 4.75, and Tina said it was an awesome movie. Yes, we had a lot of fun with that. We had a lot of fun.
I'm going to go ahead and give this a 4.5. I really like this movie. There's a lot to it. The special effects were like Star Wars level special effects. They were fantastic. So 4.5 for me.
It's it's what it is. It's what it is. You know, it's what it is.
Agreed. All right. Shall we move on, or do you want to talk more about this?
Yeah, it's your turn, Big Daddy.
Yeah.
All right. I got Kong Skull Island. It's based on the film. Wait for it. King Kong. 2017's Kong Skull Island is the entrance of King Kong into the Monarch Godzilla franchise. From Hollywood to Tokyo, everybody loves the big ape, except apparently Samuel L. Jackson. The film starts in 1944 when the Japanese and American aerial dogfighters crash on the island. They try to kill each other hand to hand, and then they meet the monkey. I know gorillas aren't monkeys, but it's funny. Flash about 20 years forward, and we have the end of the Vietnam War and a lieutenant colonel who doesn't know what to do with himself. Combine that with a monster hunter who's just gotten federal funding, and you have a creature flick that's quite good. While I doubt anybody listening to this hasn't seen the film, because you're all nerds like me, I'm still not going to describe the plot in detail in case someone is going to watch it tonight after the show, which if you haven't seen it, you really should. Suffice it to say, Kong gets pissy at the intrusion to his island, Sam Jackson gets pissy at Kong, and we have ourselves a duel. An all-star cast studs this flick with the likes of Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, John C. Reilly, John Ortiz, Toby Cable, and Shea Wiggum. They flesh out the flick, and you honestly care for the minor characters if they get picked off by the various critters on the island. And there's some cool critters, too.
Yeah.
Kong Skull Island has a lot of good to it, and you can tell by the end of this film there's going to be more ape in later sequels. This movie is supposed to be a sequel to Peter Jackson's 2005 remake of King Kong, but when Legendary Pictures switched distributors from Universal to Warner Brothers, the douche that is Peter Jackson was dropped for Jordan Vogt Roberts, who went with an Apocalypse Now sort of theme, which I absolutely loved. It worked, and knowing Kong was eventually going to battle Godzilla, the writers amped up the ape's size to match that of the lizard. It makes sense. One thing of note is that the pit lizard from the original 1933 Kong was used as the basis for the skull crawlers in this flick, to the point where I don't remember that at all. I'm going to have to go back and watch the 1933 Kong. Another cool piece of trivia is that both Michael Keaton and J.K. Simmons were tapped for different roles in this film, but had to bug out. I would love to have seen both of them in this movie. Two of my favorite actors. The movie was actually filmed in North Vietnam, Australia, and Hawaii. Although the film made more than $500 million, it was considered only broken even as the $185 million budget and insane overseas advertising costs made for an expensive movie to make. At the time, it was the second highest grossing film in the MonsterVerse after 2014's Godzilla, but it was still considered just breaking even. Reviews for Kong Skull Island are positive, and I have to agree. I liked it. It's a movie I've seen several times. Probably going to see it again. I tend to like group flicks together and then just watch them in chronological order. So I will watch it again. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Alan.
Okay. Vietnam War and a giant creature. Wow. I would have loved this 30 years ago. I would have been, I love Vietnam War movies and I love giant monster movies. And this one, I was excited. the artwork in the posters was fantastic. If you look at the movie posters, they even have an Apocalypse Now version, where instead of Marlon Brando's face, you got Kong's face. It's just
Yeah.
this was a fun movie, and the special effects in it did not let you down, and it had a great cast that pushed it, especially Jackson being that just out of control commander of this helicopter squadron, this air cav squadron that, he's losing all his men and he's angry, and I'm sure he's got carrying a lot of stuff back from the war. But then you got Thomas Mann, Jason Mitchell, and Eugene Cordero from Tacoma FD as the everyman in this series, and they were fun. They were the comic relief basically, And then you had Shea Wiggum as their sergeant. Shea Wiggum's great. He's great. You should see him in Vice Principals. He's in everything, and he's a great he's a great actor. But his death was just stupid, though. I just thought it was so stupid. And they wasted Toby Kebbell from Rock and Roller. You got to like his character, and then his demise was just like,
super fast. Yeah,
really? Did you look that guy for that role? Creatures are great. I love this movie. I really do. It did not let me down. In fact, I think it's the best Kong movie out there. Best modern Kong movie out there right now. What do you think, Scott?
Okay. Let me start. I like the movie, so don't get me wrong. But I hate all the remakes of the Kong movies. The 76 one, just prejudiced me against anything with the word Kong in it, except for the two 1960s and King Kong versus Godzilla and King Kong Escapes, but those weren't really Kong. But, I went into this one thinking, it's going to be another crappy Kong movie. It really is brilliantly done. I love the way how you can't, from the 1933 version, nobody traveled that Southwest Pacific. So there was an island there. Now it's, 1972. There's something there, and the satellites can maybe go through the cloud cover, but it's got that huge layer, that huge storm around it. So they did a good job of keeping the island isolated. The monsters were fantastic. Kong was just phenomenal. He was almost as good as the Kong from the Peter Jackson version. You brought up the point I was going to bring up. The Skull Dwellers were from. It's the scene when after he watches the log being thrown into the spider pit, and he's looking down. The two-legged crawler comes up the rope, and he cuts the rope. So that's the scene you're looking for. But I think it was good. I think the characters were well done. I loved Cole Meany in this one. He was he was so good. The guy stuck on the island with all the islanders, and they don't speak any words, and yet he can communicate with them. The scene when they first meet Kong is phenomenal. You do not expect that tree to come through the air. My only criticism of the movie is when Kong's throwing trees at you, why are the helicopters flying near Kong? It's like, okay, if I have a giant 200-foot ape throwing things at me, I'm going in that direction.
But they're hubris, Scott. They're hubris. They're hubris. They have those
down, no problem.
Yeah. But it's a great movie. And if you are going to watch it again or for the first time, stay through the end credits. Because the very end of the movie sets up the entire Monarch series afterwards. But I felt bad John Goodman got killed. I thought he was going to... Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Well, everybody's seen it. Oh, God, Dad, I got to disagree with you that. I got to disagree with you with that. I hated that version.
Well, hey, wait a minute. that part where Charles Grodin gets stepped on, that's
Yep.
worth the whole movie.
It was great.
I remember as a kid, for years, we're making it with animatronics. This is going to be a giant robot. And I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be like the original King Kong, but, with a big robot doing it. And they had the robot in that one scene when it went. And then the rest of it was a guy in a monkey suit. Now, granted, it was a good monkey suit. It wasn't like the Japanese version. But it's still, I don't know. It's just the whole thing just, to me, that version. I've watched it once. I've never watched it again. But I like this one. Even though I'm not a fan of the other Kong movies, I liked this one. I thought it really set up the universe, the Monarch multiverse very well.
Right.
I think Jessica Lange is a great actress. She was in the 76 Kong.
Yeah.
I believe that was her first movie.
Yeah. I believe you're right.
I think she is a wonderful actress now, but in that, she was absolutely terrible. There was no good acting out of her at that at all. She was there as the bimbo. It was her first movie. She was beautiful, half naked throughout the film, and they just kind of threw her to the wolves. She had no good lines, and she just sucked. Yeah. Everything she's been in since I've seen her, since then, has been excellent. She's absolutely fantastic. She's in that one. My daughter watches that horror show with her in it. I cannot remember what it's called right now.
American Horror Story.
Yeah, American Horror Story. And she was in it for I guess a few seasons as different characters, and she said she was great. I saw a couple of those, and she was good. I thought she was great, but in that film, she was just terrible. But I like the stomp on Charles Grodin. That was really cool. The Peter Jackson Kong movie, the special effects were absolutely wonderful. They were great. The scene with the bugs in the hole.
Oh God, yes.
Terrifying. Just absolutely scary as hell. And that was done well. But I think this one is, Skull Island is definitely got the best characters.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's got really good special effects. So, although honestly, probably the best special effects scenes were the Skullcrawler throwing up. That was great when he was throwing up Chapman's skull with the dog tags, and the initial scene when they started fighting him in the helicopters, like you said, Scott. Yeah. Those scenes were fantastic, but I think the Peter Jackson, like the bug scene, that was unbeatable. Yeah. But this is still a better movie. Still a much better movie.
Yeah,
I'll watch this again.
I agree.
When these are all done, when the Kong and Godzilla things are all finished, I'll watch them in order.
No,
you heard,
hey, David,
Monarch 2 is coming out, and they said there's going to be more monsters in it.
That's good.
Yeah, this
good.
one.
Can't wait.
I thought the Jackson one was kind of boring. I liked the scenes on the island. I like the, it's too long, I think. And that's what she said. Anyway, but I like the scene on the island, and it gives you the sense of. I remember when I first saw the original King Kong, and he's shaking those guys off the log, and I just walked in, and it was on TV, and I thought it was a comedy for a minute, I thought it was some kind of comedy, and then I started watching it. It's like, okay, it's not a comedy. Oh my, but this one I think is in my. I did love the 76 King Kong. I did love that. I was a teen when it came out.
Yeah.
It's a big Christmas movie. I had the poster. I had the T-shirt. So I liked it back then. But Jeff Bridges is just a cuckold in this one too. He's just a cuck in that as a hero. Yeah. His character's just not written well, and it just Charles Grodin, I guess, was probably the standout of the movie, being such an ass, bringing Kong back. Right. I forgot the name of that company, the oil company. Anyway,
that was the one thing I liked about the 76 Kong. They showed how they got Kong back. One thing I loved about the Peter Jackson version was they made Denham an asshole. In the first one, he was just an adventurer who realized I bit off more than I can chew. But Jack Black did such a good job. You could just see, I know my crew's going to die, but get that picture. And that scene, that last scene of him when he's looking at all the destruction, and you could tell what's going through his head is, I'm going to have to pay for all this. Whereas, whereas the original Dunham was like, beauty killed the beast.
Yeah. It was beauty that killed the beast.
And
so what are we going to rate?
Oh, so let me just, useless trivia. In the Peter Jackson version, they were going to get Fay Wray to say that line. She agreed, but really? she passed away before they did the film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Yeah, that's great. That's crazy. So what will you guys give this movie, Scott?
4.9.
Oof. Yeah.
Big Daddy?
Well, before I rate the movie, we got David Muga and Ash Hole and Tony Iacoviello in the house. Guys, I haven't seen these guys. I thought Clark Morris jumped in too. Yeah. Full house tonight.
And Tony, that's why Jack Black was perfect in that role. You hated him in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Colin Hanks did a good job as his, lackey, secondary guy or whatever.
Yeah, there was some good special effects in that, but it wasn't the same caliber as this film. And this film, I'll have to give this one a 4.5 as well, just to round out the night. It was really done well. I enjoyed it. It's a movie that I'm going to watch again.
Well, Peter Jackson's version was just a remake of the original. Mm-hmm. So it was like, rather than one T-Rex, he's fighting three. Rather than one Brontosaurus chasing him, it's a pack. Kong Skull Island redid the entire storyline to put it into the Monarch series. And it was brilliantly done.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a nice take that it was Vietnam era, and there were Vietnam soldiers. I'll give it a 4.5. I like this movie. It produced a product that you saw on the poster, and a lot of movies don't do that. And you're like, that's what I saw. I enjoyed it. I wish my dad was around to have seen this. He would have loved it.
I actually saw this movie with my dad.
This
was another one. We went to see it together.
Nice.
We were both itching to see it. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Nice.
Well, I remember my wife, my stepdaughter, and me went to see the 2014 Godzilla, which I did not like. I thought it was too much Mufto, not enough Godzilla. But the scene when the things on his back started lighting up one at a time, I was like a little kid, like yes. When he did the first fire from the mouth, it's like you could hear half the theater applauding.
Yeah.
Now Godzilla's just a big puppy that keeps the earth in order and then goes take a nap in the Coliseum.
Yeah. Well, what's your favorite Godzilla movie?
Me?
Yeah. He's gonna say Godzilla -1.
Well, excluding the original 1954 version. I would say Godzilla -1, followed very closely by Godzilla King of the... Actually, no, I'm going to reverse it. Godzilla King of the Monsters, the new one, with the beefed up Rodan and the beefed up Mothra and Ghidra, is slightly ahead of -1.
Good.
What about you, Rich?
My favorite? My favorite Godzilla movie?
Yeah.
I'd have to say the very original. And, oh, man, Scott's going to hate me. Scott's going to absolutely hate me. I really like that Matthew Broderick one. It's so stupid and over-the-top dumb, and I love it.
It's a great movie. It shouldn't have been a Godzilla movie. If they had called the monster anything else,
no, I gotcha. Yeah.
I love that movie, too, because it's a great blend of comedy and action, but is a Godzilla movie. And plus, I also like, what was the one I was watching the other day when there was a it was Godzilla Final Wars. And all the kaiju come up, and Godzilla's taking them on, and they had the Matthew Broderick Godzilla, and he goes up against the real Godzilla, and Godzilla like just hits him twice and takes him down.
I think mine is the one with Raymond Burr. The Raymond Burr version, I think, is mine. Then I like -1. I do like that one. I did enjoy that one. I'm not a big Godzilla fan. I'm just not. I know, right? Blasphemy. Sorry, Scott.
I have like an entire shelf over here with nothing but Godzillas and Godzilla characters on it. I got Ghidorah up there.
I think they're cool. I think the characters are cool.
Is also a Godzilla fanatic. So whenever a new Godzilla movie comes out, him and I go to the movie and watch it.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I like the characters. I had a Godzilla. I think my grandson ran off with it a couple years ago. I had a really nice Godzilla, and I think he took it and put it in his toys. But yeah, I've never been a big Godzilla fan.
Have you ever seen the original Godzilla without Raymond Burr?
No, I have not. No.
Watch it. Because I loved, as a kid, the Raymond Burr version was my favorite. I loved it. Then I saw it without Raymond Burr, and the attack on Tokyo is terrifying if you don't break it up with his commentaries.
Well, have you seen the Ironside version or the Perry Mason version with Godzilla as a guest? Have you seen that one?
I've got a meme of it with Perry Mason standing there and Godzilla's in the dock.
Yeah, that's great. I'd love to see that. We have a surprise witness.
In the case of King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah. I love that. You guys, they had all those horror host shows, right? We used to watch late at night, Saturday night, Friday nights, and we had Bob Wilkins, this guy. He just wore a suit, smoked this big stogie, right? Introduced these movies. He's real snarky dude. He says, "Yeah, tonight I've got Bambi versus Godzilla," and I'm like, I don't know how old I was, 15, 14. I'm like, oh, freaking cool, and they show it, and you see Godzilla sitting there eating. I mean, Bambi sitting there eating, and then all of a sudden this big Godzilla foot goes, and then it's over. The end. Like,
my father and I, when we first saw that, we saw it together. We laughed for, not a joke, for 5 minutes. We couldn't stop laughing. It was so bad.
Brilliant.
It was.
Probably some movie student's film. Probably his project to graduate or whatever. Animation. Student, whatever. That was so great. That's my third favorite Godzilla movie.
And it was so good because it starts out with the beautiful music and baby, and all like, boom.
I wonder if anyone got rankled over that. They would nowadays.
Oh, everything nowadays.
Yeah.
My mother and I were having a talk about the movies that could not be made today. Probably most of the Monty Python movies, Blazing Saddles.
Yep.
Airplane movies.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff. All the Mel Brooks stuff, all the airplane-like stuff.
Though I have heard, and I'm hoping it's not just a joke because I've seen the trailer, they're remaking Police Squad with Liam Neeson.
It looks hilarious. I was like,
I love that.
Have you seen that part with OJ Simpson?
Yeah,
they're all looking at their pictures of their their dads, and then OJ's son's like, nah.
What I love about Liam Neeson is he does not take himself seriously. He'll play that part. You've seen the videos of him doing the screen test for the Easter Bunny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny. Oh, the screen. I love the screen test for when he played Zeus. Release the Kraken.
Yeah. Release the Kraken. Oh, now I'm going to be saying that all night now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tina said, "Thank you, Scott."
You're welcome. Oh God, Max is right. Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No chance you could do that now.
No. Hi, Tina.
Hi. Alan's really married. It's not just his pillow.
Thank you, babe. I don't have a Canadian wife. A wife in
Oh.
Canada.
Do we know what our movies are next week?
No,
I never
give me
know.
1 second. Keep
All
talking, guys. I got it. I got it right here.
Yeah. For those of you
I'll tell
who came in a little late, you can't see them at all. Well, this is a mug that I got from Mr. Dr. Professor Alan Gamboa, and this is a mug that I got from the other Mr. Dr. Professor Alan Gamboa. So he sent those over because he's a hell of a human being.
I got 3. I will show them next time. I've still got them on my counter. You know, this is the 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Oh,
No, I
that's
didn't know that either.
Yes.
That's right. You
Doesn't
want
that
to
make
feel old?
Doesn't that make you feel old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
remember seeing that in the theater, and then I saw the thing the other day. 50th, they're having like a big thing down Martha's Vineyard. It's like, oh, this is ridiculous. Fred.
Only,
I wanted to go see it in the theater, but my mother wouldn't let me go.
Oh,
I was too young.
I went with my folks, but I was probably too young too. I remember when that head comes out in the bottom of the boat. It's like, oh, everybody scream.
well,
That
I
was
was
great.
12 at the time, so she let me get away with it.
Okay, here's what we got for next week. Hellboy,
The
original.
Perlman one.
Pan's Labyrinth,
Okay.
and The Brothers Grimm, 2005, with Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
Damon and Heath Ledger.
Okay.
Is he? Oh yeah, Heath Ledger's in that, right? They're brothers. They're Brothers Grimm.
Now we're talking the original Perlman Hellboy, not the re-imaging.
Right. The original Perlman.
Another
Hellboy.
Ron Perlman movie. Good.
Yeah. I wish, I like him and stuff, but it gets harder and harder to like him and stuff. But I like him and stuff. It's like, don't say anything, Ron, please. Don't open your mouth.
He's good. I love him.
He is good. He's fun to watch. He's got a movie called The Baker. It's an action movie called The Baker, which is actually pretty good. You can watch The Beekeeper, The Accountant, The Baker, The Bricklayer, The Freemason, The Attorney. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
I thought he said something else other than fishing.
Well then,
Dan says, you hear Dan says when are you guys gonna let me pick the next 3 movies?
pick movies, Dale. We'll put them in the rotation. Put them on the Facebook
mhm.
page. Excuse me.
Send us, I know you guys do, but continue to send us movie ideas.
Yeah.
And
please.
it's hard enough with Scott down there. Because we get robot, hooker, chimpanzee movies.
Oh, I've got a list of really bad movies for our
See?
What's the robot hooker chimpanzees? Come on.
Let's see. Wait a minute. One of them was, did we watch Killer Raccoons 2?
Yes, on the
The
train.
second one.
Okay.
Not 2, right?
Did you see that one, Rich?
That was the one on the train. That was the one.
It was.
That's one.
Oh,
That
okay.
was the. It was. He was on. It was like a crack coon.
No, not Crackoon.
Right.
Killer Raccoons 2. It's
No, we didn't see Killer Raccoons 2.
it's the one where the guy uses raccoon terrorists to take over a train.
Yeah, we did it, Scott. It's
Okay,
Dark
all right.
Country. It's that sequel. It's like that you take that Steven Seagal movie, the sequel to the one he did on the ship where he's on that train and there's a satellite and everything. And the raccoon movie is that movie, but with raccoon terrorists. You didn't see that
train.
movie?
It was on a
Maybe
train
you're
that was
gone that
done in
week.
somebody's living room.
Yeah, I must have not been there.
Oh
Oh my
you
God.
gotta watch that.
You
one.
know, it's so bad that it's good.
Yeah.
It's
Thanks, Max.
and this raccoon's got these little machine guns, and the acting's horrible in it on purpose, of course. Ron Jeremy's in it as a colonel or something, Colonel Limp or something. They give him a freaky name, something. It's a bad movie, but it's one that's it's so bad. I mean, I wouldn't watch it on purpose. But we did see that, Scott.
We did. Well, then maybe I'll have to pick the other Ron Jeremy movie about called One-Eyed Monster.
I know where you're going with that. That sounds.
I'm serious. That's a movie.
I know. I've seen.
You sure? Is that something you and Ash watch when everybody's going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, guys.
And you guys sit close to each other. You don't have the snacks.
No, I kneel on the floor and he sits on the sofa behind me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Well, I guess is that it?
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Over an hour. We did okay.
Ladies, gentlemen, thank you all for joining us.
Come back next week.
There we go. We got fingered by Rich. Show's over. Remember, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, Brothers Grimm next week. So get watching if you want to go along. Cheers.
Okay, boys and girls. I guess that's our cue to skidoo. And we will see you next week. Peace out, Scooby Gang.
All right, Weirdlings. That's all for watching Wyrd this week. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, the strange and unusual never sleeps. Well, except for maybe on Thursdays. Speaking of sleep schedules, here's a quick reminder about our other shows. Dive into the mysteries of the mind with Weird Awakenings every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cozy up with blondes, books, and campfire tales for spooky stories every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hone your craft and connect with fellow writers on Write With Me on the third Sunday of each month. And don't forget, Watching Wyrd now airs live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For all things weird, find us on social media via Linktree in the description below, or visit our website at weirdrealities.net. Stay weird.